Hello and welcome to AdaPulse, the channel that brings you all the news and all the proposals that are in and around the Cardano ecosystem. Now, before we go on, I do want to remind everyone, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to get notified as soon as we have content available. And remember to leave comments as well, because we want to hear from you too. And also remember, you can further support us by delegating your ADA to either Swag, Zod, or me, ATM. Now, the topic for discussion for today is why and how you should take your ADA off the exchanges. Now, self-custody is important, but it can be quite scary for some people. So today we're going to discuss how do you even go about starting to think about such a thing and why it's important to do so. And this is an article by Flantoshi. He's a ghostwriter from the AdaPulse team. And so I'm Josh from ATM. Let's crack straight on with this. So everyone on Twitter and SPOs, that's stake pool operators like myself, have finally got to you. You're no longer happy with keeping your coins on centralized exchanges, that's CEXes or C-E-X, either because you've been convinced that it's bad for decentralization, or you want to be in full control of your assets without anyone else being able to run away with them, or you want to invest in super early stage projects and win big. And those are all perfectly understandable, but bear in mind that self-custody, as in direct ownership of your assets, it's not without its dangers. If you make a bad enough mistake, there is no recourse. No person to revert a transaction, you're completely on your own. If Spider-Man were into crypto, I mean, why not? He's always on the web, right? But he would say, self-custody gives you great power, but with that freedom comes great responsibility. Now, you are your own bank, so you are in charge of security and storage. We're not saying this to scare you, but merely to show you the side that these types of guides often emit. More often than not, this is content hastily written by SPOs as a means of attracting delegation. So it's not generally in their interest to acknowledge the potential difficulties or risks associated, because then you might not bother. But if this article is helpful, please delegate your ADA to either Swag, Zod, or ATM. No, but seriously, there are great benefits to be had as well. For example, you'll be able to invest in cutting-edge projects months before they make it to CEXes. Remember, that's Centralized Exchanges, so you're still with me. But yeah, you'd also be paying a fraction of the price. This is where the big gains are had. Not with the already vetted and institutionalized assets. Take World Mobile, for example. I found them very early and would have been able to get on the pre-sale if my funds were on an exchange. Another interesting use of self-custody is the ability to transact on the dark web. Why you want to transact on the dark web is frankly none of my concern. I'm just pointing out its existence. So today, we will explore the basics of what self-custody is and how to take control of your keys so that you can get properly started on your crypto journey. We recently did a piece on how to manage seed phrases and organized wallets, so it's worth checking that out after this. It's both online and, of course, I did a kick-ass video to go along with it. In fact, I'll put all the links in the description below to save you searching for it. So what exactly is self-custody and why should I bother? Well, crypto is the financial Wild West. We're speed running through a facsimile of the entirety of the financial history within literally a handful of years. And on this journey, the crypto industry started to develop something that much looked and acted like a bank. For most people, from a functional standpoint, CEXes are like the love child of a traditional bank and a stock market brokerage. They are corporations that allow you to trade and keep your crypto assets safe. Obviously, as with a lot of things in crypto, even using the term safe in this context is going to piss some people off. The common rebuttal to that is by pointing out that long list of CEXes that have stolen people's funds throughout the years. It's also known as an exit scam, because basically they scammed you by exiting. So although that may be true, but that's mainly because CEXes are fly-by-night operations with very little to lose from stealing people's money. It'd be like opening a bank account in some unknown financial entity with a random country with very lax legal oversight. If it disappears overnight and you trusted it, let's be fair, that's on you. So broadly speaking, though, if you stick to the well-known CEXes, the type that has been in operation for years and in regulated countries and are so large that they get listed on the stock market, the risks are minimal that they'll run away with your cash. That is a huge problem on the dark web, so just remember, trust no one on the dark web ever. But back to CEXes, the payoff of stealing funds versus just continuing to make a load of money hand over fist very much aligns with your interests and theirs. So the situation changes when there are unexpected but somewhat inevitable economic shocks or government clampdowns, though. It may not happen tomorrow, the next year, or even the next decade. But sooner or later, there may be financial problems in these mainstream institutions. For instance, if they mismanaged their balance sheet and overstated how much of an asset they owned, then all the people started suddenly demanding it. It's essentially a run on the bank where depositors try to withdraw their holdings, but the SEC has no means of repaying them. In the traditional banking world, Western governments have somewhat nipped that risk in the bud by insuring deposits up to, I think it's $100,000 in the US and about 80-odd thousand in pounds in the UK. So you won't lose funds due to bank insolvency, no matter how incompetent they are. For the time being, no such protection exists for CEXes. But they do have to comply with legal requirements. So, for instance, if the authorities in a CEX's jurisdiction decide to freeze your account for whatever arbitrary reason, like if the country you were born in is suddenly on some shit list, or they disagree with your posts on social media, I don't know, you might not have the ability to get your funds. That's why in the crypto world, there's a saying, not your keys, not your crypto. It's like rule number one. What are my keys? As a digital platform, cryptocurrency has a difficult problem to overcome. On the one hand, it needs to be accessible enough that the non-techie people can use it, while also not relying on the authority of other established systems, like a link in an email to allow you to create your identity or account or whatever. An elegant solution that was invented to work as both a password and a private username was that as a seed phrase. On Cardano, this is a string of 15 to 24 pseudo-random words that works like the key to grant access to a wallet that can store your ADA. The seed phrase tends to read like a bad haiku, and they look something like this. So it's witch, collapse, practice, feed, shame, whatever, the list goes on. It's a nonsensical phrase that allows you to gain control of the associated wallet. Whoever controls the seed phrase of a wallet implicitly owns all associated tokens. So in the back end, the words and their order represent a certain cryptographic value. It might surprise you to learn that there are more potential seed phrases than grains of sand in the Sahara. There are 2,048 words in the BIP list, and they can be put in any random order. So basically, we're talking 2,048 to the power of 24 combinations. So your chances of guessing someone's seed phrase is pretty damn low. We're talking numbers I can't even say. So I'm just going to put it on the screen here. I mean, that's the elegant way to put your chances. It's 1 in this number. Or to put it in more understandable terms, your chances are 1 in a number that is 80 numbers long, with the first number being 2. So let's put it in perspective. Tossing a coin 20 times and all landing heads is 10 to the power of 73 times more likely at a mere 1 million to 1. So sticking with the coin analogy, as we've done the maths, you would need to toss a coin 264 times in a row and all be heads. These kinds of odds are huge, like picking out a single atom from anywhere in the universe. And, the odds are pretty fucking big. So if you had the computational power and the energy necessary to try and attempt this, you're better off just trying to mine Bitcoin or any other proof of work coin, as the rewards would be way more consistent and profitable doing that. But we're likely talking about nation-state levels of computational resources, so there's little to worry about, at least until quantum computing is here and you can try all the possibility options virtually at the same time. Till then, your seed phrase is safe. When quantum computing is here, though, the world will literally be turned on its head. So that's the least of your troubles. For the foreseeable future, the main threat to the funds in your crypto wallet is you. As I've said many times before, you are your own worst enemy. So with that in mind, let's go on. In order to get started, you need to download a light wallet like Yoroi. Now, always make sure you're downloading from an official site and that it's not a fake program trying to steal your crypto by pretending, to be something it's not. But yeah, just follow the wallet creation process from there. It's pretty straightforward, but eventually, while setting up the new wallet, it will flash up your seed phrase. Now, write it down carefully and legibly. As I mentioned before, we have already done a video on how to manage your seed phrase and organize your wallet. So do check that out. And remember, the link is in the description below. You only get access to this string of words when you create the wallet, and never again. You also don't get the option to choose them yourself, as humans fuck shit up and make it like a poem or something. Basically, you want words at random, as grammatically correct sentence is more predictable. That means the vast majority of options can easily be discarded. So because language is not random, it follows clear patterns and has words that are more common than others. And you have your own tastes. You might use a quote in your favourite book or something like that. This is what opens the door for custom attacks. So because of all this, seed phrases are comprised of randomly decided words. But seriously, write your seed phrase down and create duplicates of this list. Just remember, in self-custody, it's not some criminal or virus that is your biggest threat. It's you, your own worst enemy. We can't stress enough how self-custody means that you are responsible for everything that happens. It's the ultimate form of accountability. With a CEX, you forget your password, or forget your email or whatever. As long as you're polite to the people in customer service, you'll eventually regain access to your funds again, But there is no recourse with self-custody. If you make a large enough mistake, you can lose it all. This is why you should keep your security protocols idiot-proof. Don't try and be too clever, like you're in the Da Vinci Code with your riddles, ciphers, etc. for your seed phrase. You're going to forget the answers and lock yourself out much sooner than you'll be locked out by a bad actor. Over the years, there's been horror stories of people losing fortunes by trying to be too smart. Like, they might write out their seed phrase in a foreign language, like Chinese, only to then realise that there are synonyms for those words in their seed phrase. Or there are words that are written the same way but mean very different things. So Google doesn't know which one is appropriate to use when translating it. Keep it simple. Have backups that are in different places and be paranoid of people online. Don't click or open PDFs or execute any programs on computers that you use with crypto. It's also worth mentioning that all this spy nonsense is worthless if someone comes at you with a gun or straps you to a chair and clips a car battery to your testicles. Perhaps the best defense is just keeping your mouth shut. Don't go around yelling that you have crypto, and certainly don't engage in conspicuous consumption, like getting a Lamborghini with crypto logo painted on it. That's just painting a target on yourself. Learn the principles of stealth wealth. As in, by all means, enjoy your gains, like if you have any. Go on nice holidays or vacations, as some of you like to say, and have nice meals, but do it in a subtle way. As I like to say, be a mystery. When people ask me what I do, I just say I'm a hustler. Conclusion. Broadly speaking, you can argue that nothing said today is necessary. The vast majority of people who invest in crypto will likely do it by fintech apps like Robinhood or whatever. It's disingenuous to say that this is not beneficial for them in some way. Self-custody has its risks and can be scary, basically. I mean, even now, after being in this space for years, it still makes me nervous to a certain extent, and as it should. But I promise you that as you go, the nerves lessen and your new habits become second nature. You won't sit there checking the balance of your wallet every morning, fearing that it's gone. Responsibility is scary, but it's part of maturing and finding your place in the world. Sure, I mean, you will make mistakes, yet over time you'll gain confidence and abilities that you thought were unachievable. Take control of your financial destiny, support the decentralization of the network, and be rewarded financially for it due to being able to get ahead of the crowd. The choice is yours, and that is freedom, real freedom. So that brings us to the end of today's episode, and I hope it's been super helpful to you. As always, the full article can be found online via the AdaPulse website, and of course there's a link to it below, and also links to the other articles we were talking about and videos, so you can check them out too, because it's all handy information. We just want to help you guys. So remember, do like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when we got a video out. The subscribe button is there as always, but of course remember you can further support us by delegating your ADA to either Swag, Zod, or myself, ATM. So I'm Josh from ATM, and that's it for today. Thank you.